Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Left for dead on a Detroit sidewalk to be discovered by people living nearby. Tonight, police are investigating the deadly shooting of a member of the LGBTQ community. Good to have you with us at 6. The killing of a trans woman on Detroit's west side topping our news tonight.
Calls started coming in late last night, and the discovery made on Finkel, just west of Schaefer. By the time police got there, it was too late to save her. Sean Lay is live with more on this disturbing crime. Sean.
Disturbing indeed, Kimberly. We spent the day talking to neighbors in that area who saw this victim on the sidewalk. It was clear to them her pants were torn. It was also clear to them she seemed to be running from a person firing a gun at her.
That's what I heard. I heard 3 or 4 shots.
Dwayne Laurie lives on the corner of Finkel and Leisure on Detroit's west side. Driving home last night, a shocking sight just feet from his front door.
Chased down and shot right there, so.
She was chased down.
Yeah.
Detroit police getting the call that someone discovered a body on the sidewalk around 11 Monday night. The person shot multiple times and found to be a member of the LGBTQ community.
When the officers arrived, they discovered a deceased woman who had been shot multiple times.
Right now, the victim's identity is not known until an autopsy is complete. Neighbors are familiar with the woman who frequents the corner and believes someone picked her up last night just before the shooting. Witnesses believe she was in a car and jumped out of that car and started running down this side street, running for her life. They believe this person with the gun chased after her and shot her 3 to 4 times. The motive here is not known. What is known right now is the fear this violence puts into the LGBTQ community.
It's hurtful. A life was lost. You know, another member of our community is gone, and specifically another trans woman of color has lost their life. And so it's devastating to the community that this occurred.
We spent some time walking up and down Finkel at Leisure, that side street there. Very few cameras in that area. Police looking for video, also looking for anyone that can help them track down that gunman. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4, back to you.
Just awful. Okay, Sean, thank you.
A former UAW official sentenced to prison in connection with the ongoing corruption scandal. 54-year-old Timothy Edmonds was the treasurer and chief financial officer for Local 412, which is out of Warren. He pleaded guilty in March to embezzling union funds and money laundering. Prosecutors say he took more than $2 million that was used to gamble and buy guns, high-end vehicles, and cocaine. The judge sentenced Edmonds today to nearly 5 years in prison.
A federal judge orders the seizure of money from former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick and his wife. The couple was doing some virtual crowdfunding, but the former mayor still has an outstanding debt to the city. Court records show separate notices of garnishment were issued on July 11th and 12th, demanding the payment of more than $193,000 from their PayPal and Plum Fund accounts. The couple was raising money to buy a home in Florida. Kilpatrick's wish list on Plum Fund has since been taken down.
More than 600,000 petition signatures were delivered today to the Secretary of State in an effort to give voters an eventual say on Michigan's minimum wage. That would be the 2024 ballot. It would raise the wage to $15 an hour and phase out the sub-minimum wage for tipped workers. But in the shorter term, we're expecting a decision by next week on the appeal to a judge's ruling about the 2018 ballot proposal. If that appeal is denied, it would immediately bump the minimum wage from $9.87 an hour to $12. Tipped minimum wages would go from $3.75 to $9.60 an hour. Bring in Jason Colthorpe and Westland tonight with what that means to the restaurant industry.
Yeah, guys, we're talking about almost a $6 an hour raise for bartenders and servers who until now had depended on tips for a living. And this could drastically change how restaurants do business.
And here you go. I hope you enjoy it.
I can't believe that they could really pass something like that to the industry that is already suffering.
Martin George is referring to COVID and labor shortages and supply chain issues, all of which have negatively impacted his Leo's Coney Island in Westland, as well as every other restaurant. And now he may have to massively raise servers' wages as early as August 9th.
If you think we have inflation, you're going to see more inflation. Where do you think it's going to come from?
You need your receipt. Have a good day.
Eggs today were $53 a case. We normally pay $17 a case for eggs. Yeah, add increased wages to that. Listen, if the customers like their service, they'll tip them.
Michigan would become the 8th state where tipped and untipped wages are equal or close to it. Proponents say there hasn't been a service industry meltdown in places like Minnesota.
For servers, no, we don't need a raise.
Now, Hope Coca is talking specifically about the Leo's wait staff, but she isn't the only server with concerns that higher wages could mean layoffs.
Our customers would still tip us the same, but the prices would have to go up, and I don't think that's gonna be a good thing because they're already high.
I just think sometimes when you put your hands in things, sometimes you make it worse.
In the short term, you might just see higher prices, but over time, if people stop tipping and there's a mass exodus of servers from the industry, one owner tells me the next time you go into a restaurant and scan that QR code, you might not just get your menu, you might actually be punching in your own food. In Westland, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Hey, Jason, thank you. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot has people racing to buy tickets. You have 4 hours left, by the way, if you want to get one. It's worth $830 million, and you can watch the drawing at 11 p.m. tonight right here in Local 4. Naturally, when there's this much excitement, scammers are looking to take advantage, too. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester is live in Romulus with a warning about a scam involving text messages and emails. Hank.
Yeah, Kimberly, these scammers are working overtime right now. We're at the Romulus Palace here. This machine has been busy with people scooping up those Mega Millions tickets for the big drawing tonight live on Local 4. And as you mentioned, anytime there's this much attention regarding something, well, the scammers come out, and they certainly are big time. Take a look. The Mega Millions jackpot is soaring. Metro Detroiters racing to get a ticket, hoping that Lady Luck strikes tonight. What do you think your chances are of winning?
I'm confident, so.
You're confident. You got this.
8 out of 10.
But before the big prize numbers are revealed, understand that scammers are already making their move, trying to get your attention and your personal information. Michigan's Attorney General and the Better Business Bureau putting the warning out about these scams. Take a look. This is an example. People receiving messages via WhatsApp or getting a text message. It claims that an overseas Mega Millions drawing selected you as the winner just based on your phone number and those random digits. It is obviously a scam. In fact, just opening that message could make you susceptible to high-tech thieves.
If there seems something fishy about the email, the text message, even if it's coming from someone you know, do not click on it. If it's coming from someone you don't know, absolutely do not click on it and delete it right away.
There are also cases in the day after the big drawing, people receive a text message or an email saying they actually won in the second chance drawing. This is, in fact, another big scam. And the Michigan Lottery and the Mega Millions team, well, they're not going to email you or text you. They're not going to send you information about another lottery prize. If you have any questions regarding a text message or an email you get that is lottery related, you should contact the Lottery Commission in Lansing or the Attorney General's office. We're live here tonight in Romulus. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank, Local 4.
Always got to worry about the scammers. Hank, we appreciate it.
Now let's get the latest on the coronavirus here in Michigan. The state reporting a slight increase in new cases compared to last week. 19,653 new cases over these past 7 days. So the average right now standing at 2,800 cases per day. Last week it was 2,300. State also reporting 137 coronavirus deaths over that same week.
An investigation continues after an Oakland County man is found dead at the Faster Horses Festival campsite. Police say the 48-year-old man from White Lake likely died in his sleep. His body was found Monday morning at Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn. Investigators do not suspect foul play.
Former U.S. Marine freed earlier this year from Russia believes the Biden administration can bring Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan home. In an exclusive interview with NBC News, Trevor Reed says the White House can quickly secure the release of U.S. citizens in Russian prisons and jails.
I can't say 100% what the White House is or is not doing. That's obviously not public information, but in my opinion, the White House has the ability to get them out extremely fast, and they clearly have chosen not to do that. So no, in my opinion, they're not doing enough.
Reed was released back in April in a prisoner exchange for a Russian drug trafficker after having served more than 2 years. Meanwhile, Brittany Griner's trial continued today with her legal team presenting more evidence. Paul Whelan continues to maintain his innocence as he remains in prison on espionage charges.